Okay, so hello, MrVanleider here, and I'm playing Open TTD, which I've been playing on and off for a couple of weeks. It's a remake of an old game called Transport Tycoon Deluxe, which is where the TTD comes from. It's sort of like a SimCity style isometric, as you can see here in the little menu window, and you just, you get a map that's really bare, and then you connect it all together with planes and trains and buses and stuff. And this is my save game, so I'll just shoot into it, and I'll shoot over here. So the map starts off, all of these little towns start off. You can see the map of the world, which is pretty enormous. We'll ignore the bit on the right there because that's what I've done. So it all starts off like this, and if you leave it untouched, all of the little towns here are completely separate from each other. As we zoom in on this one, which is actually pretty big one. Yeah, I mean, these towns do grow as the game goes on, but they grow more if you connect more stuff to them. And I've sort of hacked the settings about if you're probably not, but maybe you're an experienced Open TTD player, and I've just changed it to make it easy to do what I want to do, because I'm not a pro at this game, as you'll see when I take you across to see my cool little network here, which I built. Now, what to say about my cool little network here? See all these purple bits? Oy. And these cities have grown up much larger than the little unconnected ones. I'm trying to create a sort of urban sprawl very attractively, and I've renamed a couple of the cities. Here is London, which is my first city. I built an airport slash station here. You can see the plane and train symbols on this thing, whereas these other ones have just got train ones, and I made planes that go off and fly across to the other side of the map, miles and miles away here, and I've just got one plane that goes back and forth, or two planes that go back and forth, so they sort of pass in mid-air, and they make loads and loads of money. You can see here my money in the bottom corner, which is, well, not tons if you've watched other videos where there's people proing up on this game, but it's quite a lot of money. And yeah, the trains that I have made this cool little network for really do nothing to contribute to that money making. They're just for fun, really. I mean, they make a bit of money. You can see my finances window here. My train income, around about €1 million a year. 946,000 as the year just conveniently ticked over into the next one. 946,000 last year, and my planes, two of them, which I completely ignore and don't do anything, make a nice constant 4.5 million each year to allow me to just do what I want, really. So we'll close that by actually closing it, and so that's what I'm doing. I'll start off with this station here, and then it was between these two cities, which I've renamed London and Ipswich, being the two most important cities in England. I connected those, and I've got a sort of little inner ring here that runs around the middle of Ipswich with like a one-track train, and you can see this train here going round, and another one following it into the next one, and it just goes round and loops round and round. And then I've got another track that comes out of here and does the centre of London, and then I made that even bigger and added a second sort of loop round. So yeah, I do these suburban places as well, and then there's Manchester as well, which has its own sort of central station, and then sort of an inner ring and an outer ring on this little suburban railway. So yeah, that's what I've done. It's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty boring, except the fact that it gets completely addictive when you're trying to, like, look at all this complicated stuff that I've had to build here. It does get very complicated, but it is very good fun, and my goal is to... Aircraft 1 is getting very old and urgently needs replacing. So yeah, you have to replace stuff after a certain amount of time. I've turned all of that off, so hopefully my stuff will never get old or expire or anything, but I don't really understand the settings, so that Aircraft 2 is getting old. Okay, these messages can get a bit boring, but yeah, so you just build this stuff, connect it all up, and hopefully you get something cool looking. Hopefully this is fairly cool looking. These places are continental cities, being as they are the other end. There's France here, Lyon, Paris, Dijon, Rennes, Toulouse, Avignon, And then I've got Berlin, which is sort of on its own, but that was called Berlin before I had Amsterdam and Rotterdam here, which are sort of all sprawling together nicely now. I might try and connect these two places up, or I might try and add some more. See, these places are the most recent addition to my network, as I try and build a sort of suburban railway around them. Not everywhere has a sort of main station like London Central here. In fact, Ipswich, my biggest place, doesn't even have a main station. It's just on the sort of suburban line for London, which is yeah, pretty boring, I suppose. If you're still watching this, though, maybe you find it a bit interesting at least. Yeah, Open TTD, completely free remake of an old game that I used to play when I was a kid and I couldn't really do. You could also build, like, if we got here, road construction. Yeah, you can also build bus stations and lorry stations and transport. Like, here's a where are we? Here's a factory here at Manchester Woods station, but I'm not really interested in the industries. You can sort of get, you know, there's a power station, another power station, a farm. You can get sort of coal and take it to power stations, oil and take it to oil refineries. There's a coal mine, look, that you can take to a power station. But I really can't be asked with that, frankly. So I'm not going to do it unless I get really bored later in the game. But as you can see, this map is huge, and I haven't done anything to any of this part at all. So I might try and extend my main railway, which is, here's the main line sort of thing, look, and goes through Berlin, and it comes out here, and then goes completely underneath Paris. There's a tunnel here, another tunnel here, and it comes out here, and then it goes nowhere. So I might try and extend it southwards a bit towards these places maybe, and I might try and extend it northwards, but all of that takes a really long time, and yeah, frankly, watching me build it is probably, well, maybe it's interesting, but I'm not going to do that because I'll fuck it up a lot and people will troll me because I suck. So yeah, yeah, if you play a lot of this game and you've just come across this by searching sort of open TTD related things on YouTube, leave me a message and stuff and tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I've watched other videos which people are doing everything sort of time-lapse 100 miles an hour. I don't really understand anything they're doing or why they're doing it. And I've also tried to read tutorials on the internet, but I'm not really, what's the word, bright enough to understand. So yeah, I mean, that's my cool little empire. Hopefully these places which have just recently been hooked up will sort of begin to sprawl together, and yeah, we'll have like a continuous urban sprawl, all served by my brilliant transport system, which yeah, isn't really very brilliant. There's definitely things I could do to improve it, but yeah, I just wanted to create something that looks cool and where the trains don't crash into each other, and so far I appear to have achieved that by having these little loops and having everything just going in one direction, apart from my main line, which I've been very scared about extending because, well, I'm bound to F it right up. But yeah, that's Open TTD. Thoughts, comments, likes, subscribes, all welcome. Yes, have a nice day. Bye.